duties. We'll begin with your second shift duty, greeting and serving guests.
Good evening. Fried enough to eat today?
Boy, I'll say.
Well, that's great. Would you care for some ham or beef?
A little both, I think.
All right.
Making friendly conversations like this is a big part of greeting and serving guests. At other buffet-style restaurants, guests often feel they're on their own. Once they've paid for the meal, no one pays much attention to them.
I would fucking hope I'm on my own at the buffet. I would feel kind of violated if there was someone focusing on me as I was eating. I wouldn't really want someone following me around with a finger up my ass asking me what I want next.
At Old Country Buffet, we work hard to make sure our guests never feel that way. As a carver, you spend a little more time with guests and other team members. That means you have a great chance to make them feel welcome and appreciated. By greeting the guest warmly and holding brief conversations as you serve them, you say to our guests, "We're glad you're here."
This is exactly what I fantasize about with my meat carvers. Intimacy.
Let's take a closer look at greeting guests. Every conversation you hold with a guest should begin something like this.
Good evening.
Or,
Hi, how are you?
once you've greeted the guest, start a brief conversation. Try asking a question the guest can answer in a sentence or two. You might ask something like this.
Do you have hemorrhoids?
Is it still hot out there?
Or this.
Did you catch
Have
a
you
game
seen
last night?
God?
Or this.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Don't forget to hold quick conversations with our younger guests, too. Children often play a big part in deciding which restaurant their parents visit. We want them to feel welcome and special here, too.
Look at how welcomed and special this enthusiastic young child we have is, that we have held at gunpoint with a 50 cal pistol.
So start conversations with children by saying something like this.
What grade are you
You
in
have
at
puberty?
school?
Or this.
Have you decided
Have you found your
what dessert you're gonna
sexuality?
have?
Or this.
Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
One
Ah,
held a
yes. I heard all the kids around are talking about hot fudge sundaes all day. It really is an epidemic.
We've come to the second half of this shift duty, serving the guests.
I'm sure this interaction will
Begin
only
by
go
asking-
swimmingly.
Would you care for some ham or beef?
Ham, please.
Once guests have chosen what meat they want, you'll carve a slice of it. Exactly
Aha.
what size of slice you'll serve will be a judgment call on your
I
part,
never would have guessed
unless
that
the
part.
makes a special request. We don't limit the can have. We do, however, manage it to reduce waste. Here are some
It is up
guidelines
to the
for
carver
knowing
to
how
decide
much
how
meat
much
to
they
serve a
discriminate
guest.
each individual customer.
When your guest's plate has very little on it, carve a full cut. Lay it over the bare portion of the plate. Children usually prefer smaller portions. Carve them a smaller cut.
Fuck those little
Place it
shits,
on
give them
an
the
open
tiniest
section of the
slab of
plate.
foreskin. Yeah.
If your guest's plate looks like this, quarter cut or a half cut of the meat the guest requests. Sometimes size of cut or number of pieces they want. Other guests will ask you to carve a slice thicker than our usual dime width.
Tell them to fuck
These
themselves.
guests all feel you.
I like a half-inch slice of that roast
I'm
beef,
sure
please.
this interaction will
Say
only go
something like this.
swimmingly.
I'd be glad to carve you that. Thinner slices are more tender, though. Would that be all right? You can.
This feels like watching a snuff film. Like, this does not seem like genuine human interaction. This is like a shitty AI simulation of human interaction. I feel like this is something you would find on the ground in the woods on a tape. Look at his eyes. He is fearing something. He is afraid of something behind the camera that we don't see.
Always come back up for more.
Okay.
Of course, if the guest insists on a thicker slice, honor the request. No matter what the topic of your conversation has been, or what size slice you've served,
What topic of conversation can possibly hinder the amount that you serve them? You must be talking about something bad. You must be talking about how they disgraced your family honor and completely ruined your family dynasty if it's going to make you give them less meat.
you will end each guest contact with the same phrase.
How's that for you?
That's fine, thanks.
Asking, "How's that?" makes sure guests are happy with the slice they received. If they're not, or if they also want a slice of a different meat, you can correct.
How much more conversation is there to be had after you give them the fucking meat? Why are they just standing there? Like, why would there not be anybody else behind her?
Correct the situation promptly.
Does she ever go back to her table to eat? Or does she just take the meat and just stand there with it and continue talking to him?
Guests will sometimes ask you questions about the food we serve and how we prepare it. To be ready for these questions, make the most of opportunities to learn about our menu items. If you are asked a question you can't answer, find someone who can answer it.
Why would you ask someone about food that's at a different station? Why would you ask someone about food that's not even at the station that they fucking work at? Why should they have to worry about that?
The nearest manager is usually a good place to start.
Oh my god, look at the disappointment on the manager's face. He's fucking pissed, like, god damn it, Bobby, always with the same fucking question. How many times do I have to tell you? Fuck.
Your third shift duty is maintaining the carving station. As you carve and serve meats, your station quickly loses the cleanliness and appeal it had when the restaurant opened. Throughout your shift, you'll complete routine cleaning and maintenance tasks to return your station to its original appearance.
Gonna give the
Here
counter a
are
good
some of
old
the
spit
tasks
shine.
you'll complete. Wipe grease from the carving board with a paper towel. Grease and meat scraps spoil the appearance of your station. Wipe them away frequently. Discard the
And then
used paper towels in the
immediately pocket the
wastebasket
paper
immediately.
towel for later.
Keep the wastebasket in a spot that is... Then, wipe the carving board, front board, and stainless steel surfaces with a clean, sanitized towel. In between groups of guests, to wipe your carving knives and chef's forks with your clean, sanitized towel.
Yeah, so you're gonna want to make
Keep
sure
an
you
eye
have a
on the
cum rag
walls,
on hand
mirrors,
at all times.
sneeze
so you
guards,
can
and
wipe your
floors
knife
around
off.
your station to make sure they stay clean. If they aren't, use the time between guests to clean them. Guarding
Oh
the
no!
area personally
It seems
or
you've
putting up a
ejaculated
wet
onto the
sign
floor.
until the spill can
Make
be
sure you
cleaned
put
up.
down your cum stain sign
Damp
and make sure to
mopping
mop
the
it up
area with
immediately.
hot, soapy water, and leaving the wet floor sign in place until the area is completely dry. Be
There
sure
you
to
go.
wash your hands after performing